Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gershwan, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today, we continue talking about Chaos Gods, as we talk about the youngest Chaos God, Slaanesh, specifically Slaaneshi cults. So we're going to be going over the things that you would see in a Slaaneshi cult. If you guys have any other requests, please comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day. With that said, let's get into 40 facts about Slaaneshi cults. Slaanesh is the youngest of the Chaos Gods, and alone of all the ruinous powers. The Prince of Chaos is divinely beautiful. He is as seductive as only an immortal can be, disarming in his innocence, utterly enchanting in his manner, and irresistibly tempting with his words. Slaanesh can assume male, female, or hermaphroditic form, and it is impossible for a mortal to look upon him without losing his or her soul, and becoming a slave to the Prince of Pleasure's slightest whim. Mortals that seek charisma and fellowship turn to Slaanesh, for his gifts can make one popular and inspiring. Poets and artists are drawn into the gaze by the promise of inspiration and fame, while even the hardiest warriors seek the adulation of masses and ironclad loyalty of their followers. Yet, as one continues in the service of Slaanesh, such pleasures soon grow stale, and his servants are driven on to search for ever greater sensations and ever more self-fulfillment, until only the most decadent and debased of acts can stir their emotions or provide the pleasure they have come to crave in the purest form of addiction. Seductive in the way that only an immortal being can be, Slaanesh is the Chaos God of pleasure, passion, luxury, art, and indulgence. He is the manifestation of all hidden vices, cruel passion, and secret temptations that men hide fearfully in their hearts. This abject lack of restraint and the pursuit of pleasure lures many mortals to his side, often gathering in places of carnal pleasure to pay homage and praise to their depraved lord. A notable Slaaneshi cult is the Eldar cult of pleasure, which partly caused the fall and also created the Eldar's evil cousins, the Dark Eldar. Though those foul beings fear the Prince of Pleasure will devour their souls as much as their more noble counterparts. Slaanesh's followers seek pleasure in every experience and quickly become inured to more mundane things, including sounds and colors. Thus, they frequently wear garnishes, brightly colored armor, or clothing which is extravagantly decorated. The followers of the Prince of Chaos pursue ever greater heights of experiences, seeking pleasure in increasingly extreme and outrageous fashion. Slaanesh's influence often reaches into the upper echelons of hierarchies, where the greatest luxury and privilege resides, corrupting nobility and the wealthiest of imperial families. It can be seen at its most insidious among those that strive for rectitude, as if the Prince of Chaos takes particular joy in corrupting those that dare to proclaim themselves as upright souls. Even the most pious pontiffs of the ecclesiarchy must rest sometimes, and when he does, the unconscious desire in his dreams betray him to the master of carnal joys. The more civilized a society becomes, the more frequently seeds of corruption planted by Slaanesh sprout within it. As leisure becomes widespread, the unconscious want of the many are led down dark paths by the subtle influence of Slaanesh. His worshippers engage in great orgies involving every vice and perversity to praise the Lord of Pleasure, where the death of many through exhaustions and overstimulation is taken to be a sign of the prince's favor. His devotees say that any extremity of sensation or emotion can open commune with Slaanesh, for the echoes of his birth scream reside in every mortal soul. They pursue a rapturous, tortured, orgasmic, drug-fueled state of hypersensuality, their souls burning bright and hot like shooting stars as they plunge ever deeper into the psychic maelstrom that is Slaanesh. Countless worlds have fallen into complete anarchy when Slaaneshi pleasure cults become so widespread that all order was lost in an insane frenzy of self-gratification. On many, The fall of the Eldar is reenacted in microcosms as society collapses, and the howling winds of chaos ravage the world through the minds of its psychers. The handful of gibbering survivors that are sometimes left behind are so changed by the experience that they can no longer be called in any sense mortal or sane. Certain inquisitors of the Imperium have cultivated a particular loathing for the followers of Slaanesh, for the corruption they spread so readily through the God Emperor's mortal realm. Their effort to suppress the pursuit of pleasures inevitably brings an ever-widening wide circle of smugglers, criminals, and black marketers into contact with Slaanesh's mortal adherents. Servants of Slaanesh, by their incantations and accursed crafts, have seduced, depraved, and corrupted both man and beast, bringing them low in the sight of others. Numberless are their enormities and horrid offenses, heinous and wicked their every action. Reveling in perversity and debasement, twisted in mind and body, these insidious servitors of the Pleasure Lord take delight in all manners of unclean deeds. The denizens of Slaanesh spread the depravity of chaos to the unwary and uncaring with heretical crimes that cry out against nature and the true order of the world. Amassed on the field of battle, the electric colors of their contoured forms offend the eyes, as their diseased loudness offends the mind. Half-bared torsos of pink and blue boast of unreined lust. Others display limbs of glistening greens and yellows, pale shades of corruption which belie the darkness that hides inside. They have abandoned the last vestiges of true decency and sacrificed their humanity to serve the dark power of the master of cardinal joys and spread his corruption amongst the innocent. Worshippers of Slaanesh are known for their complete lack of fear, as they see even losing a battle or their own lives as a new experience to be enjoyed. While not interested in dirty warfare of Khorne's narrow-minded berserkers, Slaanesh does enjoy combat of the artistic sort, taking pleasure in watching extremely talented gladiators battle, where the act of fighting is transformed from a means to an end into an art form all in its own. Slaanesh bestows his favor upon any who act on the interests for an art, whether the art is that of combat, of painting, of poetry, or of passion. The favor of Slaanesh will aid the artist in creating, amplifying everything created to immeasurable levels, while at the same time corrupting them indiscriminately, such that only mortals who look to them are at once both entranced and terrified. The mark of Slaanesh combines the conventional human symbology of male and female, although it is seldom worn openly by their followers. In its place, they often wear items of jewelry bearing erotic motifs. Followers dress in robes, which are often open to leave the right side of the chest uncovered, a requirement of many of the rituals involved in his worship. Pastel and electric shades are the chief colors, although white is often used as well. These colors are also sometimes carried over into everyday wear, although they may be modified to fit the current fashion. Regardless of any other consideration, all Slaaneshi followers wear garbs of sensually high quality. Slaanesh is served uniquely by the Chaos Space Marines of the Emperor's Children, Traitor Legion, hedonistic psychopaths who wield unique sonic weaponry in battle. Those corrupted by Slaanesh at first experience every sensation and new situation with an unbridled sense of wonder and flush of pleasure, feeling every aspect of life as if through new eyes tinted with wonder. But as time goes on, it requires ever more extremes of sensation to feel the same bursts of pleasure, soon leading to a new need to be constantly surrounded by extremes of sound or garish color, particularly bright pink and purples. In time, mortal degeneration sets in as an individual corrupted by the Prince of Chaos engages in only the most extreme behaviors, such as sadistic murder or highly degrading sexual practices, in order to feel the enhanced pleasure offered by Slaanesh. By this point, an individual is usually so beholden to the Chaos God that he or she will begin to be granted mutational gifts by the Dark Prince intended to enhance their pleasure or physical perfection. Groups that have been knowingly or unwittingly corrupted by Slaanesh often engage in radical body modifications, using makeup or clothing, or even beginning to surgically alter themselves if the technology is available, intending to increase their perfection or ability to experience pleasure with every sensation. Ultimately, even death itself becomes an experience of immense pleasure, both dealing it out to others and in the end, undergoing it to oneself. A final moment of orgasmic pleasure before the soul is absorbed by Slaanesh in the immaterium. The enhanced pleasures and sensations experienced by every soul corrupted by Slaanesh, and all the corrupt things they do to the service to his pleasure, strengthens the Dark Prince in the warp, where the psychic emanations of such deeds feed the young Chaos Gods' power. And those were 40 facts about Slaaneshi cults. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about Slaanesh, click on the link below. It's going to take you to the wiki page where you could read up on more information that I did not cover. And again, guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing. Because of you coming in here every single day and just participating with us, commenting down below, and talking to other Warhammer 40K fans, we can continue to put out these videos. If you want to support us a little bit more, jump on over to Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.